Stop scrolling. Stay until the end of this video, because somewhere in this list, there's a good chance your profession is on it. Not because you're a soldier, but because modern war needs almost every profession that exists in peacetime. Doctors, lawyers, teachers, IT engineers, translators, psychologists, journalists, and dozens of jobs most people have never even thought about in a military context. Stay until the end. Your job might be on this list. Most people picture war the same way. Soldiers with rifles, tanks rolling across fields, fighter jets cutting through smoke. And yes, all of that is real. Snipers, lying in position for hours. Sappers, clearing minefields inch by inch. Artillery crews, calculating trajectories under fire. Tank operators, sealed inside steel moving at full speed toward the enemy. Special forces, operating in total silence behind enemy lines. Pilots, flying missions at altitudes where mistakes cost everything. Naval officers, commanding vessels through hostile waters. Paratroopers, jumping from aircraft into combat zones. Submariners, living underwater for weeks without surfacing. Missile operators, managing systems that can hit targets hundreds of miles away. That's the image most people carry, and it's incomplete. Because for every soldier on the front line, there are dozens of people behind it, doing jobs that war cannot function without, doing jobs that exist in your city, in your office, in your hospital, right now. This is what war actually looks like from the inside. Medicine. The first category is medicine, and it goes far deeper than doctor or nurse. Combat medic. The first person to reach a wounded soldier, working under fire, no operating room, no sterile equipment, just hands, training, and a few minutes to keep someone alive. Trauma surgeon, operating on injuries that civilian hospitals rarely see. Multiple casualties arriving simultaneously. Decisions made in seconds about who can be saved. Anesthesiologist, keeping patients unconscious and stable during surgery, in field conditions, with limited supplies, without the backup systems a hospital would have. Orthopedic surgeon, reconstructing shattered bones, limbs damaged by blast waves, shrapnel, projectiles, surgeries lasting many hours. Neurosurgeon, operating on brain and spinal injuries, caused by concussive blasts, fragments, direct trauma. Among the most complex surgical procedures that exist. Vascular surgeon, repairing damaged blood vessels, stopping internal bleeding that can kill within minutes. Maxillofacial surgeon, reconstructing faces and jaws. Injuries from blast fragments are particularly severe in this area. Burn specialist, treating injuries from fire, explosions, chemical agents. Burns covering large portions of the body require months of care. Ophthalmologist. Eye injuries are extremely common in modern warfare. Blast fragments, debris, intense light from explosions. Specialized surgery is required to preserve vision. Emergency physician, triaging incoming casualties, deciding who receives treatment first based on survival probability. One of the psychologically hardest roles in wartime medicine. Intensive care nurse, managing critically injured patients over days and weeks, monitoring every system, adjusting medications around the clock. Physical therapist, rehabilitating soldiers after injury, teaching bodies to move again, working with amputees learning to use prosthetics. Occupational therapist, helping injured personnel relearn daily functions. Writing, eating, dressing, skills lost after neurological damage. Speech therapist, brain injuries and trauma affect speech and swallowing. Rehabilitation is slow, detailed, and requires specialist training. Prosthetist, designing and fitting artificial limbs. Modern prosthetics are highly technical devices. Each one is custom-built for the individual. Pharmacist, managing medication supplies across military medical facilities, ensuring nothing runs out, preventing drug interactions in patients on multiple treatments. Medical laboratory technician, running blood tests, bacterial cultures, pathogen identification, results that directly affect treatment decisions. Radiologist, reading X-rays, CT scans, MRI images, identifying internal injuries invisible from the outside. Psychiatrist, diagnosing and treating serious mental illness in military personnel. PTSD, acute stress reactions, psychotic episodes under combat stress, clinical psychologist, providing therapy for trauma, both during and after deployment. Engineering and technology. War runs on engineering, and the range of specializations required is extraordinary. Civil engineer, designing and building field fortifications, bunkers, trenches, barriers, observation posts, also assessing and repairing bridges, roads, infrastructure. Military engineer, breaching obstacles, constructing river crossings under fire, demolishing structures that provide enemy cover. Electrical engineer, maintaining power systems at forward operating bases, generators, distribution networks, emergency backups. Power failure in a field hospital is a life or death event. Mechanical engineer, keeping vehicles operational in extreme conditions, diagnosing failures that standard mechanics cannot handle. Structural engineer, assessing whether damaged buildings are safe to enter. Urban combat creates enormous structural hazards. Telecommunications engineer, maintaining radio networks, satellite uplinks, secure communications. No communication means no coordination. No coordination means catastrophic losses. Cybersecurity specialist, protecting military networks from enemy intrusion, detecting and neutralizing malware, preventing intelligence leaks through digital channels. Software developer, writing and updating the code that runs weapon systems, drones, targeting software, patching critical bugs in operational systems under time pressure. Data analyst, processing reconnaissance data, identifying patterns in enemy movement, turning raw information into actionable intelligence. Drone operator, piloting unmanned aerial vehicles, reconnaissance, targeting, communication relay. A profession that barely existed 20 years ago and is now central to modern warfare. Drone technician, maintaining and repairing unmanned systems. Field conditions are harsh on electronics. Satellite communications operator, managing uplink and downlink for secure military communications. Coordinating with orbital assets. Electronics warfare specialist, jamming enemy communications and radar, protecting friendly systems from jamming. A constant electronic battle running parallel to the physical one. Nuclear, biological, chemical, NBC specialist, detecting and identifying chemical, biological, radiological threats. Decontamination of personnel and equipment, one of the most specialized and highest stakes roles in any military. If you've made it this far and already recognize some of these jobs, you're only halfway through the list. Subscribe now so you don't miss the rest of this series. We cover a new side of war every week that most channels never touch. Logistics and supply. An army that cannot be supplied cannot fight. This is one of the oldest truths in military history, and it requires an entire profession of its own. Supply chain manager, coordinating the movement of thousands of items across vast distances. Ammunition, food, fuel, medical supplies, replacement parts, all arriving at the right place at the right time. Truck driver, moving supplies across roads that may be mined, ambushed, or destroyed. Often the most dangerous non-combat job in a war zone. Logistics coordinator, tracking inventory across multiple locations simultaneously, identifying shortages before they become crises. Fuel technician, managing fuel storage and distribution. Military vehicles, aircraft, and generators consume enormous quantities. Warehouse manager, running forward supply depots. Organization under chaotic conditions. Aircraft loadmaster, calculating weight distribution on cargo aircraft. Managing aerial resupply operations. Procurement specialist, sourcing equipment and materials, often under emergency conditions with compressed timelines. Vehicle mechanic, keeping military vehicles operational in field conditions. Sand, mud, extreme temperatures, sustained high mileage use. Aircraft mechanic, maintaining military aircraft to flight-safe standards. A single maintenance error can mean a crash. Helicopter technician, specialized maintenance for rotary wing aircraft, often operating very close to combat zones. Weapons technician, maintaining and repairing small arms, artillery, and crew-served weapons, ensuring systems function reliably when needed. Ammunition technician, storing, handling, and distributing ordnance safely. Also disposal of unexploded munitions, one of the most dangerous jobs in existence.